Okay, so let's come back to the culture wars then, David.
Okay, so here we have Stuart Waiton from the Scottish Union for Education, and he's highlighting one of the lesson plans that has been circulated around for Scottish teachers to use. So he's urging heads to drop the trans lesson plan. It says an education pressure group has called on head teachers to ditch an inappropriate lesson plan that tells primary school pupils it's acceptable to want to identify as a boy or a girl. Schools across the country have been issued with a learning resource entitled Being Transgender as part of the lessons on relationship, sexual health and parenthood. So we have an example of what that means, or what's actually in that. So this is the three main points they're making to teachers. So one says that if a person describes himself as transgender, they feel that the sex they were born doesn't match how they feel inside. So a transgender woman lives as a woman today but was born a boy. A transgender man lives as a man today but was born a girl. Again, I wouldn't actually say that's particularly accurate, but that's what they're teaching the children. They're then highlighting the issue of prejudice. It's come very much in this vein. This is how it's been introduced. Remember learning about prejudice, discrimination, sexism, introduce the word transphobia. So almost the first thing they're learning is it's phobic, it's insane, it's mental illness to have negative feelings towards an individual based on the choices they're making in this area. The word that explains when someone is hurt or put down because they're transgender. So they're mobilizing the sympathy that children would naturally feel for someone who's being hurt or bullied over this, and this is how it's being sold. The key points to note are to acknowledge that for people who are transgender, things can be difficult when other people are cruel or rude to them. Not that it's difficult per se because of the choices they've made. No, it's difficult when other people are cruel or rude. And remember that every one of us is born unique and special. That's what makes us so interesting. So it's extremely supportive. It comes with slides. Here are the slides. So it's introducing what is transgender, and it's just basically covering these few simple points again, and reminding the children that transphobia is a kind of prejudice and discrimination. And then there's additional material. One of the bits of additional material is a link to the Sandiford Clinic. Now, the Sandiford Clinic is involved in using puberty blockers to prevent children developing, and then in mutilating surgery. The fact that that's cropping up in guidance to teachers is more than a little concerning. And there's then a video on how to be a girl, daily life with my transgender daughter. Quite a long video. I can't show you really a clip for want of time, but it's out and out propaganda. It's clearly not telling the whole story. It's very much cherry picking for effect. It's done with cartoon-like stick drawings and very childlike language throughout, which seems to be a manipulation as well. I'm quite concerned by that being part of the teaching pack. And the whole thing is, the Scottish Union of Education feels inappropriate. I would agree with them. And it's calling on head teachers to decide not to use this material. And of course, one of the big things here is for parents to become aware of what is being taught to their children. The website that information comes from is rshp.scot. All of the information that they're using in this particular subject area is on that website. Please check it out.
Okay, but there's a bit of pushback then.
Yes, and the point I'm making here is, here you've got Natalie Jean Beisner. She made a video basically pushing back on the lies or the implications of the stories that children have been told in schools, or that mainstream culture is communicating. And she's saying basically this is not true. So this is someone who used to be on the left, used to be a Democrat, has walked away from left-wing politics, and is talking about simple realities of human relationships. And we're seeing more and more of that, where people are standing up on social media and elsewhere and speaking what they believe to be accurate. And we're not seeing it very often from academics. We're not seeing it from specialists in education. We're not seeing it from government agencies. We're seeing the pushback much more from ordinary people who are turning around and saying, actually, no, this is seriously missing the point here. We need to get a grip of reality. So it's to the ordinary people that we must look with more hope for some common sense, I think.
Yes, okay, thanks for that. Now let's move international and